This may come as a shock to some people, but Ollie Watkins on form is the best striker in the Premier League. Here is why I believe Ollie Watkins is elite for Aston Villa. Ollie Watkins has gone from strength to strength over the years, but I think it's quite difficult to understand his progression unless you really properly look at the numbers. These are his past 4 seasons, and naturally he's always been quite good at scoring goals. In the 2020-21 season, he got 14 goals and 5 assists. Now that wasn't a very bad campaign at all, but if we go through the years, he's continued to score goals. And then we get to this year, the 2023-24 season, he's only played 27 matches. Now compare that with the full seasons that he's played in the rest of them, that's obviously a great deal fewer. But he's already got more goals than every other season, and he's got a lot more assists. He's putting a lot more numbers to his game. He's really being quite clinical in the way he's taking chances. I mean, he's gotten 4 more assists than he did in the entirety of last season, and he's still got at least 11 games to play. That's extremely impressive, and the same goes for the goals. He's really starting to put those numbers up, and it's really impressive. He's also really impressive when it comes to his underlying stats, which really do give a context to the way that he's performing this season. Now, we know about his goals and we know about the way that he's taking his chances, and that's really highlighted here. He has 3.05 shots per 90 in total during a match, and that puts him in the 77th percentile against forwards in Europe's top 5 leagues. But 3 shots isn't too much, but he's still getting quite a few goals, which tells us he's being extremely clinical. He creates 2.67 shot creating actions per 90, but he's got 10 assists this season, and for a striker that's incredibly impressive. Passes attempted only 15.93, that puts him in the 11th percentile. That means he's high up the pitch, making sure he's waiting for his team to give him the ball. He's not coming to look for it. He's not disrupting the Aston Villa system or the Aston Villa play by dropping back a little bit deeper, becoming impatient. He's able to wait on those lines and make sure that he's able to make the difference for his side in the place that we know he can do. Progressive passes, again, that's not going to be too high because he's going to be on that last line. We know that he's extremely good at holding his runs, making sure he is staying onside. And then again, that's highlighted here with the touches in the attacking penalty area. 5.92 per 90 in the 83rd percentile against players in Europe's top 5 leagues. Ollie Watkins is extremely impressive, and I think he's slowly but surely, if not already, starting to become the complete striker. To give a little bit more in-depth context, I've gone for a comparison. This is a comparison between Ollie Watkins himself and players from the Premier League and one from La Liga. I've gone for Erling Haaland, Son Heung-min, Robert Lewandowski from Barcelona, Callum Wilson and Gabriel Jesus. Now, it is worth noting that Callum Wilson is something of an outlier here. He hasn't played too many games for Newcastle. He's been injured quite often. But I've got him here because of his link to the England squad. I think it will be him and Ollie Watkins both vying for a place on the England team to go to the Euros, so that's why I've got him here. And I think it's incredibly impressive when you look at the numbers between Ollie Watkins and the rest of these players, and it just shows the level and the calibre that he's currently playing at. Let's not forget that Robert Lewandowski was up for a Ballon d'Or not too long ago, and now currently is playing for Barcelona, and he's not having a bad season either. Erling Haaland is obviously a goal machine, and Son Heung-min has really started to find his form again under Ange Postecoglou. So all of these players are really quality, highly driven, and they have a lot about them. So if we scroll across and just take a look at some of these stats. First of all, I want to mention that Ollie Watkins has actually played more matches than the rest of these players, but not by too many. He's played 5 games more than Erling Haaland, he's played 4 games more than Son Heung-min, and only 2 more than Robert Lewandowski. But when you look at the numbers, only Erling Haaland has more goals than Ollie Watkins, obviously in the Premier League, but also in comparison to Robert Lewandowski. He only has 12 goals, whereas Ollie Watkins has 16. And when you think about the fact that Erling Haaland is a goal machine and Ollie Watkins has 16 goals, 2 goals fewer than Erling Haaland, it's very impressive. But when you take a look at the assists and combine goals and assists together, Ollie Watkins actually has the highest amount of goals and assists in both the Premier League, but also in comparison to Robert Lewandowski out of these players. Erling Haaland with 3 fewer. And when you think that Ollie Watkins has played 27 matches, 26 goals and assists, that's nearly a guaranteed goal and assist per game. That is incredible. And some of the players that we are comparing them to are pure elite players. And I think a lot of the time when we talk about the player of the season, I think context and the understanding of how much they've progressed needs to go into it. We know how good Erling Haaland is, and if you're really replicating some of these numbers in terms of the case of Ollie Watkins, I think a lot of credit needs to be given. He's getting so much out of himself. Unai Emery is being able to do so much with this team. And remember, he's got 16 goals from an XG of 14.2, so he's actually overperforming his current XG, and he's nearly doubling his assisted goals. He is clinical, but also making sure that he's doing the correct passes, making sure that he's able to help out his team whenever he needs to. And actually, Erling Haaland is currently underperforming his XG. Ollie Watkins is a sensation. He's full in form, and I think he needs to be given a little bit more credit because, as I've said, nearly a goal and assist per game. That's only bettered by Erling Haaland. It's better than Son Heung-min, it's better than Robert Lewandowski, better than Callum Wilson, even though he hasn't played too many matches. It's incredibly impressive, and as I said, I think Ollie Watkins needs to be given a lot of credit. He is my current player of the season so far. Before we end, let's take a look at two goals that really highlight what Ollie Watkins does so well. The variety of the goals and just the way he's able to just impact himself on a game. Funnily enough, both of these goals come from the most recent match they played against Luton. This is the first one, and it's actually a header that he managed to get during the first half against the London side. Aston Villa are about to whip the ball in, and as you can see right here, Ollie Watkins is on his bike. He's moving already. A Luton player is not currently marking him. I mean, it could be him, but Matty Cash is also making sure that he's holding off one of the players to make sure that this area here is really available. This allows Ollie Watkins to drive into the space and then get a free header, which is exactly what happens. The ball is currently in mid-flight right here, and Ollie Watkins is going to be making sure that he gets his head on it. Now, that's not essentially the main part of the goal for me. The real main part is what he does once he makes contact with the football. He converts the goal in spectacular fashion, moving his head with such accuracy, with such finesse, and it's just the ability for him to generate that power with those neck muscles. He does a fantastic job. If you see here, look at the way he's able to generate the power, really angle it towards goal, and actually ends up being a top corner finish. A fantastic goal from the England striker. But let's take a look at another moment. This is his second goal, lurking on the line of offside, staying onside, making sure that he's able to make those runs in beyond, and the goal actually starts from here. Douglas Luiz sees that pass over to Ollie Watkins, and Ollie Watkins is already running, he's on his bike, he's on the last line. The ball is currently in mid-flight right here. You can't see it properly, I'll just zoom in here. The ball is in mid-flight, but Ollie Watkins is here. Now what he's going to do, really impressively, his first touch is going to be with his left foot. Now it's because it's on this side and he wants to angle it towards the goal. Because he takes it with his left foot, it angles it towards the centre of the pitch. Not only does it push him towards the centre of the goal, but it also makes sure that the ball for his next touch is on his right foot. So if I just forward it a little bit, you can see that his foot is now touching the ball, or it's just touched the ball. It's angled it towards the right hand side, which gives his predominant foot in his right foot the ability to take the next touch, and that is imperative. When you see strikers, they need the most amount of time possible, and if you limit the time that it takes for you to be able to control a football, to be able to bring the ball down, the more time you will have to execute your finish. Kaminsky does not have enough time to be able to come out because Ollie Watkins kills the ball instantly with his left foot, moving it onto his right, and then it's just a matter of can he finish? Well, of course he can. He is about to shoot here with his right foot. It swings into the bottom right-hand corner, just nipping off the post, and Kaminsky cannot score, or cannot stop the goal, I should say. It's a fantastic finish, but it's the build-up to the goal that I think is most impressive. Ollie Watkins is an absolute sensation, and he is definitely an elite talent at the moment, coming into his prime. But my question to you is, how highly do you rate Ollie Watkins? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. With almost half of Aston Villa's goals through Ollie Watkins' contributions, whether it be through assists or goals. How high does he rank for you? And is he making it to that England squad? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something new, and I hope to see you in the next one. But until then, my friends, take care.